is Lauren. I'm a mortician, and today I'm going to be showing you how we clean out the crematory. This case has been sitting overnight, so the machine has cooled down to a sufficient temperature that we can now process the cremains inside. Contrary to popular belief, you are not just ashes. When the crematory shuts off, there are in fact bones that are left over. The bones are not in the best of condition. I would not be able to reassemble these into a skeleton and give them back to you. That's usually the number one question I get. Can you give me back my bones? No, I can't do that because the bones are quite fragile, very frail. They have been heated up to excessive temperatures. There will be some of that ash that we refer to, or cremated remains is the more technical term, but there will be bones. And that's what it looks like when we're all done. So I'm going to do the processing now. So we have these really long brushes, and we need them this long so we can get them all the way back to the end of the retort. It is quite deep in there to accommodate people of all different heights and lengths. Each person's gonna have a little bit different of a technique. How I prefer to do it is use the really long brushes. They're heavy. I'm gonna pull as much of it as I can to the front of the machine, and then I'm gonna use a shorter brush that's not so heavy and gently sweep out the remainder. We have a bin down here. That is where all of the remains get swept down into, is this bin. I know you probably can't see this, but I get a lot of heat for not wearing a mask, but the air is actually getting pulled up and away from me, so I'm not worried about inhaling anything. And also, anything that was harmful in the body is cremated away during the process, so nothing is going to harm me. I'm not going to inhale anything that is going to do damage to my body. Could I wear a mask? Yeah. Am I choosing not to? Also, yeah. So now we have a variety of hand brushes that we use for the final sweep out, because obviously my big brushes aren't going to be able to get in there to sweep everything out that I need. I also like to go in there and just make sure I have gotten everything that I'm physically able to very neatly. So I'm gonna bring you up close here. I want to show you something. So this is now all cleaned out, and over time, you can see how the brick will wear down. And we actually, one of us, either me or my dad, are gonna have to climb in there and re-brick the machine. Actually, we don't re-brick it. We have this kit that we are able to fill in the cracks that we see. And the most common place for cracks are right in the center. I'll put you in there, right in the center, and then along the sides. Along the sides, you can even even see some forming here. So we literally get like brick and mortar and we are able to fill the holes in the cracks. But as you can see, this is brick on the sides. And the thing about brick, I want you to envision dumping glitter out on a brick patio. And if you were told to pick up every speck of glitter, would that be possible? The answer is no, it's not possible. So a certain level of commingling is inevitable in between decedents that we have here. And that rings true across all crematories, all funeral homes. A level of commingling is always inevitable, but it depends on how much effort, how much love, how much time goes into cleaning out the retort in between deceased individuals that matters. So that's why we don't rush this. We take our time because it's important to us to make sure that we do our very, very best to get this as clean as we can in between each use. So this is an interesting angle. So now I have my bucket. So I swept everything down into the bucket. Had a nice little opening here and I was sweeping those sides to make sure I got them nice and clean. So I swept everything down here and now we're going to remove this. Now, I noticed I've got some working dust here. I'm going to sweep that quick. I literally cannot rush this process. All right. So this machine is the next step. This is the processor. What I have left of bones, that machine is what is going to grind up the bones to give me the powdered look that you are probably used to seeing on film, or if you've ever opened grandma or grandpa's urn and seen what their remains look like, this machine is going to get me to the end result. So I take my person. You put them in there. Okay, so for this next part, I am going to sort through the bones. And the reason I do that is I'm gonna look for metal or anything that won't grind up in the processor. I don't wanna put that down the chute. I'm gonna take that out. And instead, I have a metals bin right here. It's very full. We are due for the man to come that recycles it for us. This is a big magnet that I'm using. I look for anything obvious. Not seeing anything big right now. So far, I have found a couple staples. Nothing crazy though. And that's okay. Here's something. A mouthpiece, some sort of dental implant is what I found today. All right, I feel pretty good with that. There's a chute here. I'm gonna pick up the lid. I always make that mistake. When you are cleaning out and doing the processing, the whole point is so that it goes into a plastic bag at the bottom, and someone has sinned and not put this back on for me. So I'm gonna grab a plastic bag. So after a little bit of struggle, I have this put on here. There we go. Normally, the last person to use this machine should preload this bag for the next person. I'm really glad that I double checked. Yeah, you only make that mistake once. Let's sweep it down. Oh, I found something else. Uh-oh. That looks like a piece of jewelry that somebody forgot to take off, unless there is a medical student in here that can tell me what that is. But we're gonna find out. We're gonna set this aside. It's not magnetic, or my magnet would have picked it up. Maybe it was just a medical alert day. That'd be nice. Okay. That's filling up. Can you see? And that is the final result. You can see on the top the little pieces. Those are the bones that were ground up. They're just little pieces. And then on the bottom is the finer particles. The color of cremated remains can depend on how hot somebody runs their machine. A normal coloring is gray, can be white, and sometimes you might even see black. There's a range of different colors, but usually those are the top 3. So I am done with this processing. However, I am going to put a new bag on the bottom for the next person, which will probably still be me, that processes the next set of cremated remains. All right. I like to wipe the machine down when I'm done using it, so we're gonna do that quickly.